Welcome to my channel. My name is Valerio, but please call me Val, and today we're gonna review Live Robo, a model kit produced by Bandai Namco belonging to the line SMP Alternative Destiny. For the one that don't know, the line Alternative Destiny, it is a subline of the main SMP line. And what does it mean is that they take design from older TV show, older cartoon, and they try to make them more modern. They reinterpret it a tiny bit by keeping true to the spirit of the original robot. So in this case, this was a robot from a Super Sentai show, on which the main feature was the combining gimmick. And this is a combining kit, model kit, and this is only the first part of it, because in the future they're gonna release the other parts that are gonna combine into an even bigger robot under P Bandai. So I'm not sure I will buy it, but who knows it. Anyway, I bought my copy by Link Japan by spending around $60. Once again, this is not a paid review, I just want to express my impression. Now, let's look what there is inside the box like last time, really runner-wise. And instead of commenting on the color, I will just comment on the quality of the plastic and how I felt about it. So inside the box, there are a lot of runners. The runners are not particularly big. They are smaller than average model kit by Bandai, but most of the runner have at least one or two parts that are pre-painted or with a bit of color separation inside of it. There are no stickers whatsoever inside the box, and if they're there, they just fly out of mine because I wasn't able to find it. There is a candy inside the box, because these used to be old candy toys, even if now the price is over a master grade. And we saw a lot of runner. Quality of the plastic for most of it is not bad. Actually, it's pretty in line with the modern high grade, but on some color I wonder why quality is a tiny bit lower. However, it is by not putting any color any stickers to correct the color, I think, and by giving a lot of pre-painted part, I think this might be a good choice for people that don't plan to paint the model. On the other hand, if you plan to paint it, get ready for a world of pain, because this is a combining mech, and also because there are a ton of tiny details that make it, from a certain perspective, even too intricate to paint without starting to bang your head against the wall. Now, we saw everything that is inside is a bit of plastic, and altogether it took me around 4 or 5 hours to build. And why you see accessories as a title of this chapter, actually we are not looking at accessories right now. We're looking at accessories and the extra bits that you need to generate Live Robo. So on average, combining Robo can have a perfect transformation where all of the parts inside of it are within the main combining mech, or this one that is a more Lego kind of transformation where you take apart some part of the combining, the future final robot, and you insert parts that are not within the main mech. No problem about it. With model kit, it's pretty hard to find to do perfect transformation Robo within a reasonable price. Obviously, there is always the exception of Resin Kit by Studio 5, but completely different game. Anyway, you can see we have different hands, we have different tides. Actually, we have the tides that we can build. We have different feet for the eagle, the one of the vehicle. I'm not sure it's an eagle or a falcon, but it should be kind of similar. There are a lot of tiny pieces that permit you to combine the robot into the final one, even the head. Hey, you need to touch the head of this. I was a bit disappointed. I'm sure they could have hide it within the Zord, let's call it like this. Do they have a name? Okay, within the vehicle. Let's not say anything by which people could start on it on me. And this is the shield. And you see, everything is without sticker. Everything is pre-painted. Not everything, but a lot of it is pre-painted. And is pre-painted in a nice way. Now pay attention, because pre-painted parts are not covered with clear, which means the paint goes out really quickly. So pay attention. Most of the color are done well. The red is a bit below par. There is also a tiny bit of a display stand, but these are all tiny bits that you can use to kind of express yourself when you want to expose it. This is the sword, which I really like it. You see there is a clear piece in the middle, and everything is pre-painted silver. Make it quite an impressive piece if you normally don't paint your kit. So the tiny display stands are a bit of they're not great, honestly. But now we go into the main, let's call it mechs, guys. I don't know how to call it. So there is the lion. You can see part separator, pre-painted, really tiny, really cute. They have a tiny bit of mobility, guys, but being a model kit and being a combining model kit, it is extra fiddly. Not too much the Lion, while the Eagle Jet, it is super fiddly. While both the Lion and our Dolphins, let's say the Dolphins, are super solid. Now, you can see the tiny pre-painted detail, the tiny prepared parts, how they make this robot pop in a nice way. They're fairly large on their own, but at the end of the day, after the combination, you will see they kind of shrink a bit. And now it's, should we say, morphing time? Combine, Gatai. Let's Gatai. Okay, so this is not really a transformation. This is more like Lego-like. So you remove parts out of it. And from these parts that you remove, then you go and combine Robo. You touch new parts. And after you touch new parts, you will have the final robot. So I did speed up a tiny bit here, mainly not to make a video that is too long that nobody will follow. Here I was just showing, so we have to remove a bit of the parts, as I was saying. You can slow it down, and if you have any question, just let me know. But you know, you have to detach a ton of parts out of it, which make me think maybe it would have been a better idea if they did just release a separate already built, not combining robot and then the tiny one. But anyway, it is fun. It is not hateful, however, extremely fiddly once you transform it. And there's tiny bit of parts in the manual that I didn't find extremely clear. For example, how to pull his abs within his shoulders. The abs is an extra part that you have to attach, and once you understand that you need to squeeze the part, and you will see me feeling a bit, that is why also is going forward, is gonna get inside without much problem. And fundamentally you needed to raise the shoulder. This part is not particularly well explained within the instruction, and you kind of need to force it. Now we're gonna go with the other parts, still take it apart and combine it. I mean, this is for sure a transformation that they had in mind to have maximum results with minimum effort. It's way harder to do a proper transformation when it's possible, obviously, versus just take it apart, attach new parts, reattach it. Now, it is not hateful, actually, it's pretty nice. So can't complain too much about it. So this piece will jack inside the shoulder if you left enough space. Please don't do it at home. I use a knife as a splonger, but there was no paint, so no issue. You see, you put it between the shoulder blades, and yeah, I didn't press it enough. So now, okay, you see me, I did enough take. And guys, if you need how to attach it, obviously ask me, or just play this part of the video a tiny bit slower, and don't worry about it. I don't think I skipped much onto it, if not stuff where I use unsafe items. Now, final bits, super easy, the legs, which I think are dolphins or orca. Anyway, these are the most solid piece out of it. You have to remove this part from around the boot, fold it, same with other feet, and don't worry if they don't stand still now, because they do have quite a bit of ability of keeping poses. This is just because there is no weight over it, and the tights have still not been installed. You see, fairly easy, even at this speed. Now, you jam one tie inside the leg, and you just have to pay attention to put the right tie on the right leg, but it's super intuitive. And worst case scenario, you can unplug it. The legs are super stable, highly recommended, even the joints, they're really, really nice. Now we're gonna go with the last bit out of it, and fundamentally this is me finished to taking apart the oak, the falcon, still don't know the name. These are the hips. You see, you have a part first unplugged before, and you have to substitute the bottom part of it with a pre-built one, which I think is more solid. This part is one of the most finicky, the one for the falcon, while it is fairly solid, the pre-built one, because it's one piece. Actually, I think it's two. You see, you attach the legs to it, then you put the skirt on, and it's nice. It is a really nice effect. And now we attach over it the upper body. And there is something weird with the proportion. I will comment about it. Anyway, then I will take it apart and we will actually look at the robot. You see, I will attach the head and we will look at it. Don't Don't worry, now we're gonna slow down with the video. And this was the combination. Not too bad, a lot of Lego-like kind of stuff. Remove and reattach. Oops. Okay, now let's go and look to our live robot. And we find ourselves with a robot to which I'm a tiny bit conflicted about aesthetic, but everybody has their own opinion on aesthetic, so you have to keep your own and don't bother with mine. Anyway, it is around 6 inches. Obviously, depend where you measure, how you keep the leg and everything. I think with the Canon app, it goes a tiny bit higher, but overall is between 6 inches and 6.5, so 15 and 16 centimeter. Please remember again, this will be able to combine with other vehicles and become quite larger. Now, all the pre-painted part came out really nicely, I have to say. All the tiny details, they're pretty cute, and the color, the pre-painted parts, even gold over yellow and whatnot, they look nice. Now, there is something weird going on with the proportion, and mainly is that the legs are a bit larger than the upper part of the body. Now, I wonder if this has been done in respect of the original model, or simply because you will need to combine, and that is the only way in which you can afford to attach a heavier part to the legs. They need to be able to carry more weight. Anyway, it is fully detailed, and some might say maybe to an extreme point, but they try to modernize a Super Sentai older kind of design, so I think that is spot on. The weirdest stuff that I can say is the face of the lion, which I see a bit squished. Anyway, now we're gonna see a bit of joint of posability. The head can go left and right, and it's not over ball peg, but it's like over a clip. Anyway, not bad. So there is only a single joint over the arm, which I found weird because I thought I built two. Anyway, there is a bicep swivel, butterfly joints, pretty big. And now with the legs, the waist can go by quite a bit, nothing excessive, but thinking about how it looks on the back, it is enough. There is an ab crunch. Now, if you open the skirt completely, you're able to move the legs, and the joints are pretty tough enough that they're gonna keep it. Now there is this extraction joint, which is nice, and it's gonna keep the pose you want to put it. Now, I will recommend a couple of drops of glue if you want to keep it, but maybe wait until the expansion came out to decide if you can glue apart or not, or you have to wait. Anyway, it is pretty stable, and for being a combiner robot, it can move quite a bit, and it's pretty nice. I like it. Now for the leg, so it can move left and right, and it can go on the tip, but the tip is solid. It doesn't have a teapot. And that's all. As I was saying, the possibility of it to pose is pretty good, and you will have a lot of fun with it. Now, it is finicky because it's combining, but if you spend even 5 minutes more building than me, you will press a tiny bit better the parts, and you will not have to rush it. It's going to be a tiny bit more solid. As I was saying, a couple of points of glue are going to do a miracle. Now we're going to go through a couple of comparison with other model kit from the line and from other line. And first we will always start with our Lego dude. Lego dude is pretty tiny, and it's not a giant one. As I was saying, the weird stuff is the smash head of the lion. Now this is the X-Kaiser, still from the SMP alternative line. I think Live Robo is done a tiny bit better. The tail are scribed, are better molded. This is a Moderoid, the Godmars, pretty solid model, if you want my opinion. This is painted, actually. Not a great paint job, but still okay. And now we're gonna go with the model kit that we did so the other day, which was this one, the Thunder Joe, which is not bad, but here you can see a similar price. One is completely pre-painted, color separated, and the other one is just big. Now let's start with our conclusion. We'll quickly go through pro and cons and then suggest it or not. Now let's go with cons, and really quickly, it is finicky. There are a lot of tiny parts when you build it, and for people with large hand like me, it is quite of a problem. Now the combining parts, it is less combining and more attach and detach, Lego-like. And the size is pretty tall, plus there is something weird with the proportion. The head is really tiny compared to the body, and the upper part of the body is is really tiny compared to the legs. So, but this might just be because of the future combining gimmick coming on later. Now, for the pros, the pre-painted parts are really nice. It is perfectly color separated. There are no sticker. It's quite possible. It still combines, even if it's not full combining. It is quite fun to build and not too bad. The manual is pretty clear, and still as a pro, it's gonna combine into an even bigger robot. Now, do I recommend it? Yes, I do recommend it. If you have $60 in your pocket and you're a bit bored by Gundam and you're not scared of trying another line still by Bandai, I do recommend it. On a difficulty level, I would put it on par with a real grade or some harder master grade, not because it's hard, but because the parts are tiny. But other than that, this, with the fact that a lot of the parts are pre-painted, the price is not too high, is gonna put to shame similar model kit in the same price range. Only issues that is a tiny bit tiny. So if you have everything in 1/100 scale, this is gonna look fairly tiny. This is more in line with 144 scale. And that's it for me. So guys, please, if you have any comment, leave it below. I will reply to everything. And if you had a different experience with the kit, please let me know below. I'm quite curious about it. And have a nice day and a happy new year to everybody. Have a nice day.